Hello, Vapors. I am the Vintage Vapor coming at you from beautiful Colorado. And today I am doing my first review. The items I will be reviewing are the Mini Volt by Council of Vapor, the Mini Velocity, and a juice by a local juice company in Colorado called Papa Murph's. So first up is the Mini Volt. It goes in power from 5 to 40 watts, and it is by far the best mid-range wattage device I've ever used, and it's definitely the tiniest. So here's your average 30 ml bottle of juice, and then here's the Mini Volt with an RDA, and it's still tinier. It's insane. So I love how tiny it is. I have child-sized hands. Just as an example, here's my phone and my hand next to it. I have such tiny hands. If I'm trying to vape on anything that's huge, it just feels awkward to me. But this is fantastic. Now, I do prefer usually to vape at about 50 plus watts. 50 to 80 is my comfort range. But for a daily vape or something I can just toss in my pocket or my little purse, this is just beyond perfect. Now, I know, dudes, you don't really care about something tiny. Honestly, the best reason to have this is to sneak a vape, like if you're at work or if you're around people who don't really like vaping. This won't show up in your pocket. It'll fit in pretty much any pocket, and it makes it so that it's less obvious that you're vaping. So the size is fantastic. Now, because of the size, normal RDAs or even mini RDAs look funny on it. It looks huge. Like, this is a mini Velocity, and it looks huge even on this little device. But, yeah, whatever. The charging port is on the bottom. It does charge with your standard mini USB port. My suggestion would not be to use a fast charger. In my experience, it tends to die faster that way. I'm not sure why. I charge mine using a computer or a regular charger, a regular 1 volt charger. It charges it slow enough so it doesn't die really quick. And part of it dying really quick, also, you need to make sure you have the right ohm coils in it. Now, if you're using the tank that usually comes with the device, then it comes with a 0.8 ohm coil, and that works perfectly. Anything above 0.5 ohms is really good. I wouldn't go really above 1.5 because then it doesn't really have the firing power to make it work well. The last time that the Velocity was built, it was built with a 2.1 ohm coil, and it just wasn't firing very well. The battery was dying. It was shitty. So, but if you stick to between about 0.5 and 1.5, you're good. Now, the buttons are awesome. They don't click very loud, or they're not like the kind of feels like it moves. They're very solid buttons. They don't stick. I've been using this for a solid 2 weeks, and it's awesome. So you can change the power. The only way to do it is by pushing and holding the up power button and the fire button, holding it, and then you can use the up and down buttons to change the power, which is awesome because sometimes I'll throw my vape in a purse and I'll pull it out and it's vaping at like 7.5 watts. I'm like, well, who does that anyways? But, and then it has 3 power modes. Now, granted, as far as I've read, it does not have a temperature control mode, which is fine. I don't really like using temp control anyways. But it has 3 power modes. It's got soft, standard, and power. And basically, the soft, it slowly builds up the power until you get to the wattage you set it at. And the power mode will start it higher than what you set it. So I have it set at 20. It would probably start at around 25 and then come back down again. It gives you like a boost. And then standard is, heats up just like it normally would with any other device. I think that's a really neat feature because with certain coils you may want to slowly build it up, or if it's a really high or really low ohm coil and you need more power, then you may want to, set it at 30 so it doesn't kill your battery, but it'll hit it at 35 so you get your vape a little bit faster. Don't have to wait for as much build up. So that's about all I really have to say about it. I love the carbon fiber on it and the rubber coating. If you drop it on a hard surface or a jagged surface, it's going to get damaged. That's the same with any device. You just have to be careful with it. But it looks really awesome, feels nice in your hand. I like it. So next up is the Velocity. Now, this is the first two-post RDA I've ever used. And I was a little scared of it at first because I was thinking maybe it might be really difficult to build on. It's not. Two-post RDAs, in my opinion, are the way to go. And that's because the way that they're offset from each other, usually I have a really hard time lining up where the coil starts and ends because they're always offset from each other, and I'm super OCD, so I want it to all line up really perfect. Well, the way this is set up, it lines up super easy. Now, the other cool thing is how deep this drip well is. It is insanely deep. Like, I would give it probably 3 or 4 millimeters of deepness, which means that you can put more cotton in there, and you can put way more juice in there, which is awesome. So I've built this with a 3 millimeter rod that came with my coil jig. Just a basic kit that I got at a shop I used to work at. And I do that so I can put a little bit more cotton in there. I also use 24 gauge wire, and it's ohming out at about 0.47, which is a little lower than I would suggest just because it would kill your battery, but it's not going to hurt the device. It can go all the way down to 0.2 ohms and be safe. So, yeah, I love this RDA. Its only problem, in my opinion, is there's very limited airflow. It's got 6 tiny pinholes, and you can partially close them off just by turning this, or you can close it off all the way. I don't know why you'd want to do that. I never have, except on accident. And then it usually comes with another drip tip. I lost mine when I moved, so I'm stuck with this one. It was an even wider mouth drip tip, which was weird to me, but because this one's already pretty wide, it's pretty wide. So yeah, it is a great RDA. It's my second favorite. Just because of airflow. That's its main problem, really its only problem in my opinion. But it's easy to build on, and it's got a huge drip well, which I love because I drip and drive, and if I don't have to drip and drive as often, then, it works out. So I don't believe in showing people how to build coils. I figure at this point, you know how. So what I will show you is how I wick, because with a drip well this deep, you want as much cotton as possible without, having to just pack extra cotton in there. So this is a standard Japanese cotton square. Bought it off of Amazon. Super cheap. Comes with tons. I even use organic cotton balls from like Target or Walmart or wherever I can find them. But for this particular wicking method, I prefer to use a square. So I peel off the top layer, that like smooth layer that makes it look pretty. Toss that. And then you want to just start separating out the fibers. And it'll basically double in size until you can kind of see through it. I don't know if you can really see through it a little bit. Yeah, so it'll basically double in size. And then just rip it down the middle, one for each side. Now if you only have one coil, then you only need half of it, but I always do dual coils. I don't like how it looks and whatever whenever I have a single coil. So I always do a double. So then it just, even with as much cotton as is going in there, because other vaping or other wicking methods I've seen, you use about a quarter of the cotton, and even that's sometimes really difficult to push through. But with this, for whatever reason, it fits really well. It goes right in, and then I just have this little, it's like a dental pick tool. It's what I usually use to shove my cotton underneath the coil. So I'm just going to do that real quick. And yeah, so it allows for so much more absorption, which is just the best with the drip well this deep. At a vape thing I went to, yeah, so it comes in a unicorn bottle, and it is just the best flavor. Now this one's actually technically been steeping for a while. I kind of lost it when I moved, but it is one of my all-time favorite flavors. Now, if you'll kind of look, it's taking a long time for it to absorb into the cotton because there's a lot of cotton there, which means you can use a lot more juice, and I guess it makes it safer if you're driving to work, 20-minute drive. This amount of juice would actually last for me during my drive, and I pretty much vape from the time I get in my car until the time I get to work, and a little bit at work. So I'm going to let this soak up a little bit. And always, as always, with the first soak of new cotton, you want to get on the outside of it a little bit. Just make sure that it all becomes able to absorb. For whatever reason, the first soaking of a cotton just takes forever. But that does it. And then I'm going to show you how this looks. So I have mine set on standard right now, just because for me it's the safest, easiest way to do it, and I won't forget and get mad at the device because it's, not vaping the way I want it to. So now at 20 watts, it's not a whole lot of power. I mean, I can crank it up. In fact, I'm going to a little bit. Like I said, I prefer to vape over 40. So I'm going to set it at 34. And it's a lot better than decent amount of clouds. I think I did shut off the airflow. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, so it's a great vape. I love the way this flavor tastes. It is so good. It's called Wake and Vape, and I always tag that whenever I have a new picture on Instagram. So that's my first review. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment, and please subscribe. And you could follow me on Instagram at lana.love. And I hope to hear from y'all soon. Have a great day. Bye.